Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see your faces this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear him. But not you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I am glad to see your faces. I'll call the meeting to order at 9:05. And then I'm Alexandra Boyd. I'm the co-chair for the Black Education Act Committee. And then I'll just call your last names as I see them on my screen. And if you'll introduce yourself and state your position, and or if you're just here to observe. Ms. Feldman.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Feldman. I currently teach at Explore Academy, work with history, and am the social studies department chair.
Welcome. Good morning. Ms. York.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimberly York. I am the newest member of the Black Education Act team. I am the professional learning coordinator.
Oh, welcome, welcome. We're so glad to have you. It's nice
thank
to
you.
meet you. Yes,
Glad to
yes.
be here.
Thank you, thank you. All right, Dr. Haven.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Glenn Haven. I'm superintendent of Magdalena Schools. I'm also the Equity Council lead.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Joseph, help me say your last name so I know how to say it.
Ulibari.
Ulibari. Mr. Ulibari.
Here you go. Now you can. Okay.
We'll circle back. We'll circle back with those technical difficulties. Mr. Williams?
Hello, everybody. My name is Devin Williams, and I am the hotline manager for the Black Education Act team.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, I see your name says Jay Wash. Tell me what I'm supposed to be calling you.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay. Good morning. I'm Jermaine Washington. I'm a Cleveland High School special education teacher, and I'm the special education representative.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's good to have you. Ms.
Thank you.
Van?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Simone Van, and I am the curriculum coordinator on the Black Education Act team.
All right, thanks so much. Good to have you. Ms. Gray?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Pam Gray. I'm an assistant professor in educational leadership at New Mexico State. So I've had some conflicts with other meetings, so I'm finally able to attend. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working with the advisory board.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's great to have you. Dr. Mutat Shavaria. Did I say that right? Help me out.
Matute Chavaria. It's okay.
Matute Chavaria. No, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
it right. Thank you.
Okay. I'm an assistant professor at New Mexico State University in special education, and my role on the council is as a parent, and I'm part of the family committee as well.
Oh, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Ms. Trujillo.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Trujillo, and I'm the Deputy Secretary of Higher Education. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat this morning. And I sit on the data committee with Dr. Nancy Lopez from UNM.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. It's good to see your face. Ms. Aaron. All right, we'll go to Dr. Mack.
Yes, this is Dr. Stephanie Mack, and I am owner-operator of A+ Class Act Consulting. Been in education in Texas for over 25 years and here in New Mexico for 2. I am helping on the Hotline committee as Devin has taken over and done a wonderful job getting that kicked off. So I'm just here to provide support as a member of this committee. Joining from Houston, Texas today. So forgive me for the camera being off.
Oh, thank you so much for taking time out of such a great event that I know you're attending.
Thank
to be
you.
here with us. Thank you so much. Ms. Bedford.
Good morning. I just realized my camera was off. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Bedford, and I'm the Black Education Act liaison.
Good morning and welcome. It's good to have you here. Romulus.
Hello, my name is Romulus Charles. I'm the Director of Operations at NACA Charter School, and I'm on the Family and Engagement Committee.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And we have Mr. Hakeem Bellamy, sorry. He's not gonna be on camera and he's not gonna be using, he's not gonna come off the mic today either, but he will be participating via chat. All right, so we look forward to your messages in the chat. Mr. Bellamy, thank you. So I believe this is Sergeant Oliver. Is that the correct way to address you?
Good morning. Yes, that's fine. Vernon Oliver, Electronic Warfare Systems, Kirtland Air Force Base, and I'm a parent.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's good to have you this morning. Tamaya, am I saying that right? Help me out.
Yes, it's Tamaya. I am a student at Rio Rancho High School in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and I am here to give my input.
And we need it. So thanks so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it. Mr. Copeland. All right, Ms. Bissell.
Hi, my name is Mary Bissell. I am off camera with the 6th toddler. Sorry, but I'm here. And I am a teacher in Rio Rancho Public Schools. I work with Mr. Washington at Cleveland High School. And I've just volunteered to serve on the subcommittee for this advisory council. So I'm just checking in to see what's going on.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. And we understand the ministry of supporting sick toddlers. So do what you need to do. And thanks so much for making time for us. And then we'll circle back to Ms. Aaron.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Earlier, I forgot to unmute myself. And now you've lost my picture. There we are. I am a retired educator serving on the council as I believe a community member. And I also work on the Hotline committee. And there's one other, I believe it is Teacher and Policy Committee or something like that. I'm not sure. I have to check it again. But happy to be here. I'm recovering from a knee injury. So not a knee injury, a total knee replacement. I had the knee replacement January 27th. So it has not been 2 months. So on occasion, I will go off video so I can get up and move around. I have it elevated as best as I can right now.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's great to have you. Thanks for supporting the council in so many ways. And you get up and move around as much as you need to. We'll be just fine. All right. So our next order of business is to, oh, Mr. Copeland, did you?
Good morning.
Sorry.
I am sorry that me and technology are not the best of friends. My name is Leroy Copeland. I serve as the Equity Council Director for the Alamogordo School Systems in Alamogordo. So just happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you. Thanks so much. All right, guys, that's our roll call. Thank you everyone for participating fully. Our next step is to review the agenda. So if everyone take a moment to look at the agenda, feel free to unmute yourself, announce your name, and then any comments you might have to how we might need to edit the agenda. Does everyone have access to the agenda? Okay, great. Right, I'm practicing my teacher wait time. All right, so from the silence, I will assume that there are no needed corrections to the agenda. All right, our next step will be an approval of the minutes, of the previous minutes. You should have access to those as well. Does anyone need access to the minutes, the previous meetings minutes? Or does anyone see any adjustments that need to be made to the minutes? All right, so I don't see any adjustments that need to be made to the minutes. Would anyone like to move for approval of the minutes?
So moved. I move we accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion for Ms. Trujillo. Do we have a second?
I'll second Monique Matute Chavardia.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Wait, it just occurred to me I might be doing this wrong. I know we agreed to, oh, we're doing thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, great. Sorry. Is anyone, if you are not in favor of approving the minutes, you may place your thumb down. If you are in favor, please place your thumb up. Thank you. And I'm gonna do my best, and y'all feel free to jump up and correct me. Robert's Rules of Order is hardwired up here. So I'm gonna try to not do that anymore, but you know, if I do, it gets on your nerves, let me know. All right. All right, so we have approved the minutes. Now we will, I'll hand it over to Ms. Bedford so she can give us announcements.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I know this is a Saturday right after daylight savings time, so everybody's like, so I was like, let me get smiles and get going or get myself going at least. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to the meeting this morning. I'll just give you what we have. All three of us and four of us now. Sorry, Kim, all four of us now we'll give a report on what is going on with the staff. But first of all, I want to introduce our newest staff member, Kimberly York. Kim York, she just started with us on Monday. She comes with a wealth of experience, especially in training, but I'll actually let her tell you about herself.
Good morning, everyone. Nicole, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here with you all, and it is an honor to be a part of this new Black Education Act committee team. I did have the privilege of serving on the actual act committee when Nicole was diligently writing it. So it's an honor to be on this side of history, because truly this is history. So just very briefly, just a little bit about myself. I have a very uniquely blended career of over 25 years as a licensed independent clinical social worker, and the predominantly majority of my career has been in schools and nonprofit organizations, but my entire career has been serving children, youth, and families in some sort of form or fashion. And most recently, I served as the interim director of Black programs at New Mexico State University. I am currently a PhD candidate in organizational psychology. And with that, I intend to expand the scope of the work that I have already been doing over the span of my career, but bringing it to an organizational level. One of the things that I witnessed firsthand in working with schools is the great need for support for educators. And so that's one of my passions, but also bringing together and helping to bridge community with families, parents, and students as well. And so I'm hoping to use my research to do just that. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a transplant from from Ohio, from Cleveland, Ohio. I've been in New Mexico for about since 2015. So I'm glad to be here. I would like to share just a little bit about my vision of this position. I believe in making sure that things are trainings and information that is provided is theoretically sound, evidence-based or informed, but more importantly, that it is meaningful and impactful for all of our constituents that are involved. And so I have every anticipation of scaling things from students on up to our faculty that we have here represented. And so making sure that things are meaningful and relevant and practical in a way that people can take things and use them in their everyday lives, because I believe that that is what's most important for this work that we're doing. We don't want it to be something that we put out and put it on a shelf. We want it to be a living body of work and a commitment that we are doing. And so now I'd like to just move on and tell you just a little bit about some of the things that I have hit the ground working with. And so trainings for schools is one of the things that is a very high priority on my list. I've done many trainings for many school districts. I used to be a counselor at Lynn in Las Cruces Public Schools. And so that is a very dear and near passion that I have. And so I want to make sure that we are being able to help with assessing the schools, assessing their needs around the work that we are doing with the Black Education Act, because we know that while it is called the Black Education Act, we are here to serve and support all students, regardless of their walk of life. And so the other thing is to identify resources, training resources that we can add to a toolkit that people can take away and pull from when they need it. And so that will be an ongoing living body of work that will be accessible to all of our constituents when they need it. And then we are, as most of you know, we have launched the first 2 modules of the Meeting the Moment, which has been amazing. And we have heard very great feedback from some of the PED administrators already about the value and the worth that it has brought to what they are doing in their everyday platforms. And so I'm going to also ask Nicole if she would kind of help me with this piece, just because it's new to me and she has a lot more of the background.
And you're like, oh, she just started Monday. So yes, when you start with this, you hit the ground running. So but the Canvas-based training, it has been a real success with the first 2 modules that are on the Canvas space with PED. I encourage everybody anybody can go on there to take it. You can register. You don't have to be an administrator when you go on there, and we can send out the link too. When you go on there, you just go under everybody else and to take the training. I really highly encourage everyone to take the training. So we have the first 2 modules up and running. We are actually going to meet with Everett Hill and his group on Monday to talk about modules 3 and 4, when we'll get those two modules up and running. What's the beauty is we're talking with, it's a long title with PED, but it's with the education. What is education? Do you remember, Simone? It's a long title. Yeah, it's a huge title. So they work on micro-credentialing. And after they've taken our training, they really want our training to be part of the micro-credentialing of what they're putting together. And so they really want the teachers to take this training. And as part is, so what they're trying to do is they're going from dossiers into, I'm new to the education world, so dossiers to credentialing. And so they want our training to be part of that, and which is awesome. That's a huge step. So once a person takes all 6 modules, then they have the possibility, they would be eligible for micro-credentialing. And so they really, really want, because the way our trainings are set up and the way they have someone self-reflect and the lessons that they learn, they felt like it was really important with what they're trying to do as far as changing from dossier to micro-credentialing. So that's huge. That's a huge, huge step. And but that's where we are now with the anti-racism training. The 2 modules are up, and then we're working on modules 3 through 6.
Thank you, Nicole. And if I could just add, speaking as one who, with over 25 years of experience, when I came into the LCPS school district, I started at level 1, and the dossier, it's great, but as a counselor, things are very different for me. So that credentialing is a huge, I think that it will have huge benefits for paraprofessionals as well as educators. So thank you so much for that, Nicole. And then I would also like to share with you, I used to work, like I said, with the LCPS school district, and I work very closely with Dr. Lozano, who is over the Equity Council in Las Cruces school districts. And so I will continue the work that I have been doing with him. They have identified a whole student approach curriculum that they want to use as kind of a 3-year rollout. And so I'm going to be meeting with him in the very near future to see how I can be a support to them. And so a part of the toolkit also, I believe in working smarter rather than harder. And so if there are identified resources among us that are working very effectively for anyone or for different regions, I want to be able to share that, because, we have a whole slew of people that and assets that we can tap into. And so if something is working for one person or for one group, it may work for the other group. And so we want to make sure that we are sharing the wealth of knowledge and resources that we have at our disposal. And then the last thing that I would like to share with you is that, well, not the last thing, but I will be working very, very close, like peanut butter and jelly, with Simone as the curriculum person, because again, we want to make sure that every training that we are offering, all of the supports that we are offering are, one, aligned with the standards. We want to also make sure that it is aligned with the PED strategic plan. And we also want to make sure that Nicole, that I am aligned with Simone's vision for curriculum in the classroom. So I'll be working very closely with her. One of the things that Simone this week brought to my attention was this whole notion about, different monthly ways of doing teacher check-ins. I know that there are multiple platforms where teachers can get resources and information. But again, coming from, a clinical background, I believe that educators supporting educators is key. It's crucial, actually, to the work that we are doing, because they are on the front lines in the trenches of all of this work, and the impact on them is very real. And so we want to make sure that we are being intentional about showing our demonstrated and intentional support of providing support to educators. And so as I develop this and roll it out, I will provide you with more information, but just know that in a nutshell, those are the things that I'm going to be working on. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Kim. That's what you tie up those roller skates this way because we're moving. Now, next I'm going to introduce Devin so he can talk about the hotline.
Hello, everybody. So just a few updates. Again, my name is Devin Williams. I'm the hotline manager for the Black Education Act team. We're looking to build out the team that's going to be helping to man the hotline. And so we just got a approved scope of work for a hotline assistant. And so we're currently getting quotes and doing the process on our end to hire that person. Also, I have a baby coming here in next month. April 28th is the due date. And so with that, I'm going to be out for 12 weeks. And so I'll talk a little bit more about it in the hotline committee section. But one of the things we're looking to do is to build a transition plan while I'm going to be gone during that time. And just making sure that even though I'm not going to be there, that the work that we're going to be doing with the hotline and with the team continues. And then my last thing, I understand that there are some issues with the Google Docs and being able to access it. And so I'd like to create space for anybody who needs some support with the Google Docs. I'll also create a training video just so for anybody who needs support or any new members that come onto the advisory council, they'll be able to have that resource in order to navigate the Google Docs. And then my last thing is the website. And so we're continuing to work with one of the people within PED who's in charge of building out the websites and doing the man work to build it out. And so myself and the team are just collaborating with them and doing all the things we need to do to have all the things within the act reflected on the website. And so hopefully we're looking at a timeline of maybe a week from now, maybe a week and a half before the website is live. So we'll continue to give you updates and keep you posted on different, on the website as it continues to get built out.
Thank you, Devin. And if anybody met Devin, then we know he's almost 7 foot, a little baby. our newest little baby, she's probably what, almost?
She's pretty tall. She's like first percentile.
Yeah, she's already measuring out in the 81st percentile before she's even born. So yeah, so we're excited. We are so excited for our new addition. Now I'm going to turn it over to Simone.
Good morning once again to everyone. Special shout out to my Cleveland High School peeps. I miss you guys so much. Just a quick update for the curriculum side. We, thanks to Arlen, he introduced us to a Black history book that's already in the works and it's pretty much finished. It's called BH 365. So we're looking at it. Kim is going to also look at it with me. And then the whole professional development curriculum subcommittee will look at this resource just to see if it's something that we want to add to the toolkit for teachers to help them add culturally relevant material to the classroom. I'm also working with OAAA on a project that we're really excited about. We're knowing just by what's going on and the climate in schools right now that our students really need support right now. So we're developing a website that will be for African-American Black students, and the website will cater to their needs. Partnering with OAAA, they're gonna do a lot of the media side of it. We're gonna do a infomercial to uplift and enhance our Black students. Also to have a health side to it for mental health as well as physical health, because I don't know if people understand, but the traumas that we deal with and our children deal with in school, it can affect their actual health as well. So it'll have that side. And then I will add the curriculum piece. So our students can directly get the curriculum. They won't have to wait for their teachers to eventually add it in. they can start getting curriculum pieces that will uplift them, will add that pride in their culture and show them the positive sides that so often are not heard within the classroom. We're also working with community members on another project I'm super excited about. And we're developing a New Mexico Black history book. So we're working with 2 different groups on this. The first group will develop stories that will be for elementary kids schools, K through 2nd grade. And then we have another team that are working on a 3rd through 5th grade, and then also a middle school through high school curriculum. So that is in the works, and we're excited about that. And lastly, we have someone who worked on New Mexico Public Education Department team develop the new history standards. That person will develop sample lesson plans, and it will be for English, history, and science. And these lesson plans, once again, we're starting to build that toolkit of resources that teachers can easily access and easily get culturally relevant material. And of course, on our side, we're making sure that material is accurate and that it uplifts African-American culture and history, and ultimately uplifts our Black students. So that's what we're working on the curriculum side.
Thank you, Simone. Again, the staff is working very, very, very hard. We have an awesome team, and they are really, I think what makes it work is because their driving force is what's in their heart, and they want to see the success, and they want to see the success of our students, and they want to see change in our schools. And so our staff is working so hard. Let me give you a few updates of what's going on besides everything else, what everybody's doing individually, as what we're doing as a group. On Tuesday, we're going to be taking a diversity, equity, and inclusion certification training. And so we'll all be certified a DEI certification on Tuesday. June 27th through the 28th, we are looking to have a conference. We put this together quick, and so we haven't really come up with the name, but we're really going to focus around we're focusing around biases. We're really doing campus climates in the schools. We're trying to do redlining with our students. We're doing a hands-on workshop on how to deal with your biases. And then we are going to do the next day on the 28th, we're bringing in a group called A Long Talk. And so they do, A Long Talk is a national group. The trainers are all over, but they're really based out of Washington. I think it's Washington. But they talk about anti-racism training in a different type of light. His story, when he tells his story, is really, it's a great story on how he got started. But the way he really got started was he just started talking to a coach because there was an incident with his son and another team, one of his basketball team members around the George Floyd incident. And so his coach, being non-Black, wasn't, he was letting them, A Long Talk, Kyle was letting the coach know you may have some issues on your team. And he didn't understand. And so Kyle talked to him about it and talked about our history and what we're going through and why people are experiencing what they are experiencing. And it was a real eye opener for the coach. And that's really what got him started with A Long Talk. They've done many, many, many talks in different universities. They've done LSU, they've done Duke, they've done, it's a lot that they've done. They do a lot of talks now with the Martha Vineyards, and they're just starting into the school system. So we're going to be one of the first. We're going to be one of the first agencies that they're going to start with as far as getting into the schools with the younger ages. And so we're really, really looking forward. So they'll do all day on the 28th. And then the 27th will just be a lot of different trainings. But it's just we want something different, and we want something where everybody takes away with it, with a feeling of self-reflection. It's not a check your box that we're doing the training. It's a really meaningful, courageous conversation type of training. It's about time. And so we're it's time to stop making people feel comfortable, basically. And so that's what we're really trying to do with these trainings, is just really make people realize where everybody's coming from, and have people put themselves in other people's shoes, and really trying to change not a way people thinking, but the way their mindsets are going. And so that's the type of this training what we're doing. If there's any questions, anybody want to volunteer to help, we will take all volunteers. And if there's also we may have to do other training. So if there's other topics that you feel the schools would need, please let us know. The town halls, we're up and gearing to start doing town halls. And so we're trying to make the community aware of the Black Education Act and what we're doing within the schools and with our community. So our first town hall will be next week on Thursday in Alamogordo. So Leroy, we will be in your hometown on the 24th. And so that would be our first one. We're looking at doing Clovis sometime in April. We're gonna reach out to Las Cruces and Hobbs, and then we'll reach out to Farmington, Grant area as we move forward. So we're hoping to tie up all the town halls by June, but we're up and running for the town halls. Simone will be presenting at the spring budget about the campus training. I did the presentation last month or this month with their CNI conference. And then Simone will be doing the second one in the spring budget conference with the PED. So that will be the first week in April. Let's see, before I go, we're working also besides the campus training, we have all the schools, anti-racism training the staff, training administrators, but who's training the students? Because we all know 80% of incidents that happen are among our students. And so what we're trying to do, I have a friend that I used to work with that does a lot of training for students, and he's based out of Dallas. And he's willing to help us put a curriculum together where we can do trainings, we can do assemblies in schools, we can work with kids if they have racial incidents that happen in the schools, that we can work with those kids and those families. So we're trying to come up with something that we can address issues with our students in the schools. And so we'll be working with him. He will start with us next month. And then he's also going to be a presenter in our June conference. So we're really, really excited about that. It's a long project, but we're really, really excited about getting into schools and helping our students understand each other. And then our last thing that we have is we have two new advisory council members. They introduced themselves today. They should be, as soon as the cabinet secretary admits them in, they'll be a part of the group. If they can just take 2 minutes or a minute just to introduce themselves and to say where they just give a little bit of brief history about yourself. We have, let's see, Leroy Copeland.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the team. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're extremely excited about having the team back in Alamogordo. I'm retired military, local pastor. I currently work in the school system, have worked for New Mexico State University at Alamogordo for a few years. As I've said from the very beginning, I don't know what I can bring to the table, but whatever it is, I'm excited about sharing it and helping with this issue in New Mexico as well as over the country, because this is home. I've been in New Mexico since 1983, so this is home for me. Thank you once again, Nicole, for the opportunity to serve.
And Jermaine, I always want to say Mr. Washington because he's a school teacher, so Jermaine Washington.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, Ms. Bedford. It's going to be exciting to be on the team. I'm also a transplant to New Mexico. Originally, I'm from Chicago. Did 20 years in the United States Air Force. Retired, and I've been in education for about 6 years now. I moved here in 2017 from Texas. I started working in the education system in Texas as an educational assistant, and then later on moved into special education and math teaching. And currently I'm in high school, secondary math as a special education math teacher. And I look forward to working with everyone on the committee. This is an honor for me, especially a lot of our kids get diagnosed as special education or special needs because really they don't understand the culture, and a lot of them get frustrated with the education system. So it's a great opportunity, and I feel that this body of work is going to be doing some great things. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then as soon as the cabinet secretary, I guess, permits or, or votes them into the council, I'll let everybody know. But thank you. Thank you for being here today. And my last and final is just a quick reminder of the staff that are over the different committees. And we have Simone, and she is over, I mean, not over, but she's helping with the professional curriculum and family and community. Devin is doing the hotline and the public relations with the youth. And we have some youth on there today. Devin will reach out with you soon. And also Ms. Simone we'll reach out to you all soon. So we're gonna get you involved with the youth. And then the professional, and then Kim is gonna be with our professional curriculum and data and policy. And so both that will have that up it's on our agenda, but we'll have it up. And so they'll be reaching out to everybody if they have not already, and then they'll be into the meetings and help any way that they can. But thank you all. Thank you for coming here this Saturday morning. We really appreciate it. And I will turn it back over to Dr. Boyd.
Thank you so much. I just want to take a minute for everybody to show love for our amazing team here. I don't know how they fit all of what they're doing in that short amount of time and shared it with us, but I could not be happier. I could not be more proud to be a part of this group and the active work that's taking place. So if you could just show your love with hand claps, the little reactions, whatever it is, because this is history in the making, and we get to be a part of it, and I'm so happy about that. So thank you, team. Thank you so much. All right, so I know we just started, but if you'll humor me and take a stretch break, we have brand new knees, my back hurts because I'm in a plastic chair. We have sick toddlers on the call, so let's go ahead and take that stretch break for our physical and mental health, and let's return at 10 together in a group. So thank you all, and we'll be right back at 10 sharp, okay? With that said, we'll jump into curriculum and professional development to that committee. Please unmute yourself and share your progress with the.
Okay, so this is going to be a game for a second because it always takes my computer some time. Okay, it works. Yay. Okay. Hi, I'm Joseph Ulibarri. I've been working with the Professional and Curriculum Development Committee. We met on March 4th and March 14th, and we've been meeting twice a month now. Our largest goal to support Simone's work is to create a statewide curricular team. And good news is we sent out a letter in the teacher to teacher newsletter, as well as just word of mouth. And we have now a team of people who you can actually see on the screen as well. And that team is going to have homework before our next meeting. I already told them they will. We're working on creating a database of resources, that toolkit that Simone was talking about, for teachers to utilize. Once the website is up and running and we have our curricular team with the resources, we'll put those on that website. We are going to be using this tool called the CARE tool, and it's a way to reflect and evaluate resources, their level of either inclusion or racism, things like that. And So we are just still building that team. We'd like just a few more. We need like an elementary specialist and possibly someone in science, computer science world to join our team. So if any of the members on this screen, if you know of anyone in that field, please reach out to, I guess, Nicole or Simone, whichever, or both of them, maybe even, but if they could reach out to us that way. And we're just creating that resource right now. And then I look forward to working with Kimberly York, now that with the professional development side of things. Just let us know what you would like us to do and what you'd like us to focus on. And we hope to see you in that next meeting.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions for the committee? I have a question, and I may have missed this. I apologize if I did. Are these resources ultimately going to go into Canvas, the learning management system?
It was good on our website.
Yeah, I think it.
Yeah, we were gonna house it on our website, but I didn't think about putting it on the Canvas.
Yeah, I think that was great. And it just made me think, because my teachers built a toolbox for digital learning in Canvas, and people were just able to go continuously add to it. And across the state, we're all using Canvas for teacher evaluation, so it might pick up some more traffic there too as well. Okay, great work. Thanks so much, Joseph, for your report. Next, we have data and policy. I'm sorry, did anyone have any questions before we move on to data and policy? I'm sorry. I didn't practice good wait time. All right, Mr. Hugh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sure. I do not believe that we had a meeting. I was not able to attend it this week, but I was looking at email going back and forth, and I think that we weren't able to have it. But if I may, I do have some policy issues from higher ed that we would have probably discussed in that meeting if we had had it. And one is exciting, and I will be putting a document in the chat, is earlier this week, I attended a college board meeting. And College Board is the organization that does SAT testing, or, and also develops all of the AP tests. And they're in the process of developing a new AP test in African American studies. And when you see the curriculum, it is beautiful. Like for me, I was sitting there listening to my colleagues from across the country, and I was like, I want to take this test. So just to let you know that I'll be putting the executive summary in the chat so you all can take a look at it. And there was a more thorough document that I didn't have a chance to scan, but if anybody's interested, you can hit me up and I'll scan it this week and be able to send that over. But just so you know how this impacts us here in New Mexico, is that through higher ed, we have a committee called the New Mexico Curriculum and Articulation Committee. And so they're the committee that basically votes on AP tests and then aligns them with what courses they will count for college credit at the different institutions. So just to let everybody know, we're hoping that this is an opportunity for a rising tide to raise all ships. Currently, we only have 3 higher ed institutions that offer an Intro to African American Studies course, or a 100 level African American Studies course. And so for us to be able to articulate it into our gen ed requirements, we're going to be having a conversation about how all the other institutions can accept this AP credit when it becomes available. And so just so you know that we might be calling on some of the staff members from PED if we need some support in having that conversation. But I do feel confident that we will be able to pass this, and that New Mexico will support us being a part of this really historic event in AP courses. If anybody is familiar, AP courses tend to have a reputation of being elite and for like that cream of the crop of students. And what's really exciting about this AP test is that, it's rigorous, and it has built in, how do I say, like critical pedagogy into its design, so that what it's really doing is trying to create a different kind of AP test that is also about welcoming folks who haven't traditionally seen themselves as being on the AP track. And so they will be doing their first pilot in 22, so this fall. Unfortunately, there aren't any New Mexico schools involved in that. But I did, ask if we could be considered at least one of our schools for the second part of the pilot, which would occur in 23. And so again, I will be in conversation with folks from TED to see how we can lobby to make that happen. And then if everything goes as planned on the College Board side, there would be a full launch of this as an ongoing AP class in 24. And so it's just a really exciting time to be a part of this conversation. I'll pause there if anybody has any questions. And while I pause, I will also put up this document that I was talking about.
Mr. Hill, I don't think we have questions because we're shocked and amazed. This is actually happening in such a thoughtful way. Thanks so much for sharing this with us.
And also in terms of thoughtfulness, they let us know we met this weekend as like the state higher ed officers, but the weekend before they convened about 250 African-American and Black studies faculty from across the country to vet the curriculum. And then also obviously the group that put it together was just an amazing group of hard-hitting professors from across the country. And so I think that when you see it, you're going to be really impressed. And again, I can send you the longer document if you're interested in seeing it. So I just wanted to put that on everybody's radar. No action is needed, but I was thinking kind of, as a member of this committee, but also a member of the New Mexico Curriculum and Articulation Committee, if we could get a letter of support from the Black Education Act Advisory Committee asking the Curriculum and Articulation Committee to approve this, I think that would, just also be a great way for us to start communicating with each other. And yeah, I think that would be great. So the next thing I have is just some more good news. Is if you haven't heard already, the UNM Faculty Senate voted to upgrade the status of Africana studies from a program to a department. And so that we're really proud of that and hope that other institutions will follow suit. And then the last piece I have here in terms of policy, and this will be an ongoing conversation, is that I'm really excited about like the rollout of the anti-racism hotline at the K through 12 level. And at the last meeting, I think I heard that the hotline is also going to be available to higher ed institutions. And so I would love to start working with Devin and others to see how we can start rolling that out in a way with the higher ed leaders so they're aware of it on their campuses and so that they can also support or connect it with other initiatives that they have. And so just so that we can also let the college students know that it's available to them, because right now I don't think that there's been a very consistent message across the higher ed spectrum. And so I just want to be of service in that area. And that's what I have on my list. If there's any other questions or comments. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you thank you so much for that update, Ms. Trujillo. That's all very exciting. And we're looking forward to next steps. Thanks so much. All right, next we have family and community engagement.
Hello all. Romulus, Simone, and I have met twice this month for the past 2 weeks, and we're going to meet actually this Wednesday as well. We have finalized the family needs assessment, so it's ready to be disseminated. It consists of 5 questions and 3 demographic questions. So you all are welcome to go to our folder in the drive, and you can view it if you would like to provide any feedback or recommendations. We would like to have it disseminated at the first town hall meeting this Thursday. And then we're looking at disseminating it through the Black churches across New Mexico, also targeting Black-owned businesses, the BSAs at the universities, and the town hall meetings. And so we're looking for suggestions on other organizations you think we can share the survey with, so we can get a pretty big turnout from the needs assessment. And we're also looking at creating a needs assessment specifically targeting Black college students as well, to see what supports and programming we can create for them as well. Romulus, is there anything else I missed or you'd like to add?
No, that pretty much sums it up. We're also looking to have a quick turnaround on the results of this data. We can then inform actions moving forward, especially for the council. So we're looking to get this out expeditiously and get those results back in.
Yeah, we would like to start programming, I think like early May. Simone has advised us about the budget. So we're looking at hopefully being able to create something before the end of the fiscal year. Any questions?
Thanks so much for that update. I have a question. So I just quickly skimmed the the Google form, and I just wanted to know, were you all leaving the first questions open-ended to an effort to solicit like more authentic feedback? Because I'm interested I feel like some drop-down selections might be more helpful and easier to interpret. But I understand if you want more of that authentic feedback, authentic feedback, that the open answer might be the way to go. I'm just thinking about the amount of time it'll take y'all to comb through data that's written by several individuals from several different walks of life.
Yeah, we are doing more open-ended to get the authentic feedback, so we don't lead families to select certain, so we can really elevate their voices.
That makes sense.
Another thing I forgot to mention, Arlen sent the data from APS, and so we were recommending to share that with the entire committee, because that was just regarding the data from APS, and it was pretty alarming across multiple areas, looking at special ed, discipline, free and reduced lunch. So we thought it would be beneficial for, I think we talked specifically about the PD committee and curriculum. They'd probably get a lot of good information from looking over that data. I think we uploaded it to our drive. If not, I can do that shortly. Oh, it is in our drive. It's under the data from APS gap analysis, if you'd like to view that as well.
And oh, I'm sorry, did I interrupt someone?
We are also open to recruiting more members. Romulus and I are okay with co-chairing it, but if anybody else would like to join us, that would be great as well.
And then I also wanted to piggyback, as far as data, you all can reach out to us with PED, especially with special ed. Deborah, that is in our division with the Equity, Inclusion, and Transformation Division, we were talking, and she can get us all of the data in special ed, and it's broken down by race. And so she, she's more than willing to work with us if we need that data from her. We're also in with charter schools, the special ed and the cultural and linguistic. They're all under our division. But not only that, PED, we just, it's one big family, and everybody works well together, just through the different divisions. So if you can just let us know what you need as far as getting that material out, as far as getting any data, just let us know, and we can reach out within our department, within the Department of PED, to get those information for you.
Thank you. I'll reach out to you this week.
And thank you to Hakeem in the chat. We will definitely look at having theme categories and just see if we can figure out a way to shorten it so it's not as time consuming. So we are meeting next Wednesday, and we definitely will look at that during that meeting. Thank you for the information.
I think also like as the world is opening up in different ways than it has been in the past 2 years, you might think about like public events that bring a lot of people together. Like for instance, Balloon Fiesta, right? Everybody's there. You might also think about other public spaces if they start letting more people into those, like DMV, places where you have to go get your papers, right? That every adult has to go do. I know a lot of it's online, but I feel like those places are low hanging fruit as well, and they're public entities. Does anyone else have any questions or input for family and community engagement? All right, thank you guys so much for that work, and thank you so much for being so committed to being willing to comb through those answers. That says a lot about the committee, and I appreciate that. All right, next we have the Hotline Response Committee.
Yeah, so before we get started, I want to circle back to Patricia. I'd love to coordinate with you sometime next week on how we can really just roll out that plan for bringing awareness to the hotline for higher ed. And so if you could just let me know what's going to be the best way to reach you. And then I'll touch base with you early next week, probably Monday, and then we can figure out what that conversation and what that plan looks like. In regards to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it sounds great. I'll send you an email with some times with availability.
Okay, perfect. In regards to the committee, we did have some meetings that we're looking at, but we weren't able to coordinate because life has been happening for all of us. And so just a few things. One of the things is going to be really just putting together that transition plan, just so we can continue to move the work with the hotline and really make sure that nothing falls through the cracks as I'm transitioning into my 12 weeks out. Another big thing is going to be the training. And so with the hotline, we've been getting a lot of calls in regards to just not having an understanding of how the hotline works and how to navigate it, not only for the student, family, and community side, but also for the school side. And so we'll start talking and having conversations about what's going to be the best way to essentially train the community as well as the schools on how best to navigate the hotline. Another big thing is going to be the monitoring aspect. Again, just making sure that there's a understanding of what the expectations are of the hotline for especially the community, but also when it comes to the schools and what our involvement is going to be. And then really just coming together and figuring out what's going to be the best course of action for getting the word out. We've had multiple mediums that we've gotten it out, including the teacher newsletter, as well as the teacher leadership newsletter, and the podcast, as well as getting it out to the superintendents. And so we're going to be doing these town halls throughout the state, which is going to be a way to get out the information to the community. And we posted it on our PED social media, as well as going to have it on the website. And so we just need to, we're going to come together and just figure out what's going to be some additional ways and additional mediums to get this information out to the community and to some of the schools that we haven't had a chance to hit yet. And so with that, are there any questions, comments, or feedback on that?
All right, thank you, Devin, for that update. And thank you for the work you're doing. I wouldn't be able to do that work. I was just falling pieces and be like crying on the floor. So we really appreciate you bringing such grace and thoughtfulness to the position and to the work. Thanks so much. All right, next we have public relations.
So with the public relations, again, we haven't had an opportunity to connect. However, in talking to the team and just kind of seeing the support we need, one of the things that I'll work with the youth on is building out guidelines for, how we're going to navigate social media. And so just kind of bring some awareness to some of the guidelines that we have with PD and getting information out on social media through that platform. And then also just connecting with them to see what students want to see and what's going to be beneficial for them to really connect with the work that we're doing through the Black Education Act, and really just make sure that we have inclusive access to information and inclusive access to understanding of the things that we're doing for the youth and for teachers, students, families, community members. And so really just taking a holistic approach and just providing information, getting information out, and really having a digital footprint when it comes to the work that we're doing with the Black Education Act. And so I'll be reaching out to the youth this week and the committee members this week to coordinate that and get the ball rolling.
All right, thanks so much for that update, Devin. Thanks everyone for sharing their committee reports. Thanks everyone for being so engaged. In reflection on the past two meetings, I would appreciate your input. I believe it appears that moving forward in agendas, I can shorten the time for the committee reports. And perhaps I can do that unless you contact me before the meeting and say you need more time. So I'm thinking maybe 10 to 15 minutes per committee in future meetings, just so the agenda is more reflective of the time we actually use. So I can do that. And then if you ever need more time because your committee has an action item that we need to discuss and vote on, then you can let me know before the meeting and we can extend that chunk of time for that specific committee. Does anyone, what are your thoughts? All right, thank you so much. So I will do that in our next meeting. The agenda will be more reflective of the time that we've come to learn that this process takes. Thank you all for that. The next thing we have are announcements. Our next meeting is April 16th. Just want to do a check-in and see if that's a problem for a majority of the members or not. If most of us can make April 16th, then we'll keep that date. Okay. All right, thank you. The other announcement I have to make is just a personal announcement, but it will affect the work of the committee next year. I have been offered and I've accepted a job at St. Louis University. So I will be moving in June, unfortunately, right before the conference. I'm so sorry. I'm like, how can I do both? How can I do both? But yeah, so I will be, but it's really great for a movement in Black education because I will be authorizing new charter schools. So I think it's really important to have Black people in the authorizing space. And I'm really honored that I've gotten this opportunity, and all the work that we're doing together, and I'll continue to keep in touch, will definitely affect the work that I do in St. Louis. Thank you, thank you. And I wouldn't be leaving, but this is my dream job they've offered me. I love working at the Ask Academy. I enjoy New Mexico. Everyone's been so great. I really love being here, but when someone offers you your dream, you take it. So that's what I'm doing. To another point, if you know anyone who's interested in leading a charter school that's roughly the size of about 600 students and 40 to 50 employees, tell them to keep an eye out on LinkedIn and where else do Indeed, those places, because we will be advertising for my replacement. And I'm happy to talk to anyone about that. So you can send them directly to me and I can talk to them about what I currently do. But thank you all for your help. All right. Does anyone else have anything they need to share with the group before we close?
Just quickly, if I may, I'm about to post another document in the chat, and this is the FAQs for the Opportunity Scholarship. If you haven't heard, right, we have now tuition and fee-free college for most New Mexicans. And so if anybody you know needs help, needs support going to college, please send them in our direction. If you send me any folks who need support, I'll put them in contact with our financial aid division. We're about to roll out a big marketing campaign so that more and more people know about it. But we just want to make sure that this group has all the information. So I just posted the FAQ in the chat. Please share it far and wide.
Thank you so much for that. That is news we can all use and pass along. It's wonderful. Thank you. Tamaya, would you like to share anything with the group? I just want to check in with you before we close out.
I am all good and happy with the direction that we are moving.
Thank you. Well said, and thank you. Ms. Feldman, Ms. Aaron, I know we haven't heard, Dr. Haven, we haven't heard from you. Just want to check in and see if you all if y'all have anything to share with the group before we close out. Make sure our voices are heard.
I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm good too. Thank you for asking.
All right. Yeah. All right. I hear y'all. Y'all telling me close out this meeting so we can go about our Saturdays. Thank you all so much for your commitment, your hard work, for showing up on Saturdays. It was great to spend this time with you, and we'll see you all next month. Thanks.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.